Hey guys, thanks for going on this nerd journey with me. If you want your episodes ad-free, go to makemeanerd.com/join and hit that button.
Hooked on you, baby, you're golden. Time moves, I never noticed. Just can't get enough. Got me wonderstruck.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Make Me a Nerd. I'm Mandy Kaplan, a mainstream mom whose mission it is to explore the world of nerd culture, one entity at a time. And I am thrilled to be revisiting The Hunger Games. Last week, my wonderful guest, Mona Chatterjee, and I talked about the book. And this week, we're going to talk about the movie. This is a first for Make Me a Nerd.
Is it really?
It is. I haven't done any, adaptations.
Movie follow-up, yeah.
Yeah. So I wasn't invested enough to read the Twilight book for your husband.
Fair enough.
So
I haven't been invested enough to read it for him either, so.
Let's forget the podcast. Let's talk about your marital troubles. Let's go for it.
Okay, great. Okay.
I'm assuming you told me in the last episode you read all the books before you saw the movie.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for doing that correctly. When I said to Jer and Casey, I haven't ever seen this movie, they were like, "You're lying. We watched it with you."
Yeah.
That is not true.
No. Okay.
I've never seen this movie.
You've never seen it? Okay.
Yeah. Not at all. Not a minute.
It's definitely like making me realize this maybe is like a more nerdy movie than I thought.
Well, this is a very mainstream movie, but these
it came out
themes,
big, right?
These dystopian themes, I do think of as in the nerd culture, but I also avoid them. I can't handle them for my anxiety. So
that is fair. This is not a calming movie, not a calming story.
No, this was not what I expected. This was a much more artistic, visionary film than I expected. I think I expected just a big studio, splashy, hot people killing each other thing. And that is not what we got here.
For me, I remember, because I loved the book so much, I was very apprehensive. But for me, the movie is just, it brought it to life. You're right. It wasn't, I was worried it was going to be like, okay, everyone's beautiful. We're going to miss the gritty depth of terror that's in this. But it was the opposite. It, for me, just visualized everything that was in my brain and almost made everything scarier, because I was like, oh my God, you're making me it was one thing where I'm in it, reading my book in my room and being in my world.
Right.
But to have it come out and be like that and have it be so close to what I felt and imagined.
Yes. And you can't deny it once you see it. When you read it, there's something, it's still, this would never really happen. But then when you see it happen, it's hard to deny.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Okay. Well, they did make a lot of changes. And we did these very close together. Whereas if you had read this book in 2008, the movie came out in 2012, I think. Look at us both making the same face. I don't know.
Never make the face. I had to make the face. The thinking in my back of my brain face.
Yes. But one of the first things I noticed is, it's 2012. We nailed it. Is they changed how she gets the Mockingjay pin. They cut a lot of the backstory of District 12. And so we don't see her. The hunting is limited.
So small. Yeah, it's so quick.
Which I had a problem with later. But she doesn't go, was it the mayor's house and the daughter answers the door and gives her the pin, and none of that's there. Do you have any sense of why? Just too much to pack into a movie?
I think it was probably too much to pack in. So they did I feel like they're like, we knew we have to bring it somewhere. So they brought it to somewhere else. But there is something I always wondered, I'm do they feel like everyone who's going to watch this is obsessed with the book and already has the backstory, so they didn't need as much of it? But, or also they just made that choice.
They still
but you don't
showed
get
us something.
I
It was like a merchant lady who was like,
it was
take the
very
mockingjay,
cool.
dearie. It'll keep you safe or whatever.
Yeah,
Or
something like that. But
it
I
was
was
just,
like, it just felt it felt unimportant as opposed to the book where
mhm.
like a special moment happens that connects that
Yes.
and why, and like, then you kind of miss like why it's meaningful to her.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, and I feel like you don't get enough of like the pain that is described in the early parts of the book.
Well, one of my essential complaints about the movie is that there's no food in the movie. And the book is called The Hunger Games.
Oh, yeah.
She talks about her hunger throughout the
Yeah.
actual games. She goes into such beautiful detail about the rich roast beef that she eats with the peas and the bread and butter and all of that before she gets to the games.
Yeah.
And that's all gone from the book, from the movie. There's
Yeah.
really no talk
Yeah, you're
about
not
food.
feeling that.
And
Yeah, and even in the early parts where like the lack of food, right? Or the reason for the hunting or the, like what is happening with like the scarcity
yeah,
and then the the big juxtaposition of like overflowing, overwhelming food all of a sudden.
hmm,
And it's kind of like it's just there.
yeah. Yes, it is
They have a
there.
spread,
They have a nice looking buffet. I'm not going to lie, it looks good
looks good.
with like pink liqueur or something. But I love
Yeah.
one of the things I noticed in the lack of detail about food. So Andy Cohen, back to my Housewives, Andy Cohen as the executive insisted when the Housewives started, when they would go to a restaurant, they would say, let's just cut and see them eating and drinking. And he would say, no, we have to hear what they ordered. People want to know that kind of stuff. And God bless you,
Yeah.
Andy Cohen, I do.
I do. Yeah, that's
I
true.
always
That's
want to
true.
know what people are eating or, you
Yeah.
know.
If I'm at a restaurant and I'm looking around, like, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
I ask, like, what are they eating?
Right. Yeah.
You want to know. You want to hear about it. You want to
You
hear
want to,
about
yeah. I
it's
mean,
like the human-based thing that we all do every day.
right.
Gotta eat.
And you and I are foodies. So,
Yeah.
that,
Maybe that is us. Of like, I'm obsessed with food. So
right. I'm
maybe
sure
that's
many
why.
people are like, oh,
But it's part of the senses. I think you mentioned the last time we're talking about like smells and things like that, but food is very connected to that.
mm-hmm,
The smells of the food and what it evokes in you.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not a vegetarian, but I really don't like to think of eating animals at all. So my dear friend Tommy Metz always says, like, if it's a patty, I'll eat it. But I don't eat anything on a bone or anything that looks like what it came from. And in the book, it's hard to read, but I appreciated the details of killing rabbits and, cooking them over a fire and eating them. That goes a long way to show what kind of situation she's in.
The level of survival, like the
Yes.
level of need
Yeah.
to survive already.
And
Just
she
day
was
to day.
doing that back in District 12 too.
Just day to day in her
Yeah.
regular life in District 12.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm.
You need a little more of that, because there's extremes. And so you could have had the extreme shown through food for sure.
Yeah. And I'm assuming no buffalo sauce, which is just a crime. It's a Shonda's. One of my first things I loved about the film is the color. When they cut in, District 12 looks very bleached out and gray.
Gray.
They cut from the it's not a game show, it's a talk show with Stanley Tucci, which is
Mhm.
so saturated with bright colors. And
Oh,
then they
yeah.
cut to District 12 and it's like, oh God, these people can't even afford color. That's how
Yes.
poor they are.
Drastic. They use that visual color stimulant in huge ways throughout the movie. Like yeah, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and you feel every second of like the bleak dark
Uh-huh.
versus this like great bubbly, we're all like excited and happy and everything's wonderful. And you're like, what are we? What?
Right. Are they on the same planet? How
You
is that
don't know what's going
possible?
on or what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and then
Ugh.
we get to the reaping very quickly, as we should. And there's a video they show to explain the history of the reaping, which I thought was a great way to clue us
With the
in.
backstory. Yeah.
Yes. And I was like, that's Donald Sutherland narrating that video. That's exciting. And then he's in the movie. And
He's in it. Yeah.
I didn't
him.
know that. I've learned to not IMDb when I'm watching because
you like prejudge and pre-expect.
Yes. Or you see actors and you're like,
no.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. That's smart, actually.
That's part of my nerducation.
Yeah.
Yes. This is where the quote is. Donald Sutherland says, "Hope, it's the only thing stronger than fear. A little hope is effective. A lot of hope is dangerous."
Yes, that's the one. That's the one.
I know. Oh, I know.
It's like the core crux of every evil plot.
Mm-hmm. Give them a little bit of hope just to keep them alive and keep them going.
Hooked.
Yes.
Keep people hooked, but not too much, because then it's a whole different conversation. People get wild.
I know.
Wild.
It's chilling and brilliant. And then they go to the reaping. And was the reaping in the movie the way you pictured it in the book?
You know what it was? I felt like it was.
Oh.
Maybe a little more layers of like pain, but I think they describe like everyone is separated out. The kids are grouped in ages and the kind of like way they describe the district, like bleakness of like everyone is sad but like can't show anything. It was like I think that deadpan did echo what I felt in the book.
I guess I didn't read as carefully as you did. So I imagined more hubbub at the reaping. More chaos, more cheering, more applause, I expected it to be a little more Running Man-esque. And it was so bleak and so quiet. And I wasn't expecting that.
Oh. Yeah, and I think, I think it's what I had remembered. It was like the big districts that are like they're like having their kids train for the event. Like that's
where Cato comes from.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where Cato comes from, and they're like trained for it. The girl who cuts her teeth like crazy, like all of that. But then this poor district with nothing, like it does kind of show like we are not happy about it. There's nothing we can do about it.
They're just already defeated.
Given up everything.
Ugh.
Everything is nothing. Yeah.
And little Prim, her name is Willow Shields. She's a fine actress.
Oh yeah.
A damn fine actress. I don't mean, she's fine. I mean,
no. She was amazing.
Oh God. Watching her suffer was so hard.
Seeing a small being like that physically versus how I imagined in my head, because I think like you equate it to your own siblings and things like that a little bit. It's very imaginary, but to physically see her reactions and personification was so good, and it was gut-wrenching.
Oh, I'm glad there wasn't a lot more Prim. I couldn't take it. And then we get to when Cinna dresses her up with the flames, because she's the girl of fire.
Girl on fire.
What did you think of that as it is in the film?
That felt different to me than what I had pictured.
Me
in
too.
A massive way. I had never imagined it like that. It's so grandiose, and the scale of having them come out on the like where they're going around the chariot. I just had not pictured the whole thing in that massive kind of arena format. I did not picture it like that at all. So I was like blown away a little bit by it.
That part, the pageantry of it made sense to me. But the actual fire dress disappointed me because it was so CGI'd, and it was like a little tail of fire. And I imagined them being engulfed by the flames, and I was dying to see how that would look. And
that's true.
That let me down as a movie interpretation.
True. Yes, it didn't. You know what's interesting? There's Indian mythology and stories about a god and woman, and um, I'm going to go way off topic, but like setting herself on fire to prove her love for a god. It's a big mythological story. And I always felt like it would be this like massive explosion, right? Of like, she survives through this because she is so pure. And like that, yeah, there was some like, it seemed, it was beautiful and like exciting, but it wasn't like the most like shocking, awe-inspiring thing.
Yeah. It was cooler when she
itself.
spun around
When she's
later.
spun.
That was
Yeah,
cool.
later.
And so I feel like with
I love
CGI
that.
advancements now, maybe I'm
It probably would have been
spoiled.
different now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably would have looked very different now, but I wonder if that's a little bit of like the moment it was made.
Yep.
Of like what was imagined at that time.
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
people of Panem are just freaking weird. And I
Completely
don't
weird.
remember them being described that way in the book, with all of their strange facial hair and the colors and the weird hair. And I'm doing a lot of gesturing right now, and it's like an interpretive Madonna Vogue dance, and nobody can see it. But
there was something about there's description of like the over the top opulent kind of thing. So I think I was thinking like, very wealthy, old school kind of concepts of it. But then to see it be like avant-garde almost, and like wildly like meeting some sort of like imagined future state of what opulence is going to look like in this crazy way.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely not what you would think about when you're like, oh, the people who are rich and affecting everybody else's life and not being affected by anything else, but
Right.
enjoying this cocooned moment of glam.
Yeah. It was a really fun design choice.
Yeah.
It's particularly all the facial hair. I don't know why I'm hung up on that.
All the hair.
Imagine how all that facial hair smelled. No, I'm just kidding. But I guess I pictured more like old, I'm not going to describe this well, but Marie Antoinette wigs and pale
Regency.
skin. Yeah,
Regency
that's,
style.
I guess, what I pictured. And this was just bold, bright colors and almost Andy Warhol meets Pablo Picasso. Just
very Picasso-esque.
Strange looking people.
Yeah. And it was meant to challenge all of our beauty norms, I think, because what you were expecting when you read and you're like, oh, these are the most wealthy, well-to-do or whatever, is we have a very clear picture of what that beauty norm is. And this flipped it up so that you can really not be in our world. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very cool. Yeah. And watching them all delight in the pageantry of, look at these kids off to die. Oh, what are they wearing? It's sickening in a great way.
The level of like how they're consuming this, like basically their favorite reality show.
Yes.
To me was like they're consuming their favorite reality show.
Like when the women tell all from The Bachelor.
Yes.
And there's a live audience and they're all cheering
and everyone's reacting and fully I was like, oh my God, it's everyone watching their favorite reality show and not having any sort of connection to like what's actually happening. But we're making comments. We're all in. We're like in to see all of it. And it's so intense because the juxtaposition of what actually is what they're cheering and talking about and discussing and debating is like, I think for us in our world, reality seems a little bit like, especially at that time, we were like, okay, whatever. It's a fun little game or whatever.
It's harmless.
And that's how they're looking at this.
Yes.
They're like, oh, it's our fun little game.
Yes.
Versus what's actually being described.
It's macabre. And then she gets into none of this looked the way I pictured. The train and the fancy hotel. That's why I called it a hotel when we were talking about the book.
It felt like a hotel in the
I thought it was going to be more institutional. More like a dorm
like a building,
or something.
Like a giant building.
And it was
but not like a Ritz-Carlton tall building.
Yeah. It was really gorgeous and weird. I loved the wall where she could see, like you could touch the wall and it would become the forest or become other things. Yeah. It was really cool.
Like, That's a cool feature that I feel like is coming soon to a window near you.
Yeah. Oh God,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh. However, she's in the Capitol, and they cut the girl with no tongue from the book, and I
Oh, yeah.
missed her. So in the book, there's a waitress with red hair, and she comes over and never
Yeah.
speaks,
Oh,
and
that's
Katniss
true. That's true. Yeah.
recognizes
And she's like,
her,
has
and she
something.
didn't
Yeah.
help her when she was trying to escape way back in the forest, and they captured her and cut out her tongue. And there was something about that I really liked in the book, and I liked their connection, and I liked how that messed with Katniss's mind, and it was gone.
Yeah.
Damn
You
you,
don't get it.
movie.
She definitely, like, definitely had to make those edits and cuts, and I get that. But yeah, there are so many little nuance. Like, you're learning more about Katniss through those experiences that you're seeing her go through like that. It's a little side moment, but it's so pivotal to us understanding and feeling what she's feeling and understanding how she's processing what's happening.
Yep.
Yeah. Not as much of that in the movie.
Right. And I
But
I understand, and you have to make a vision and go
you
for
miss
it.
it because
But
you're like, what would that have looked like? Because you're already seeing the rest of the world now.
yes,
And you're having to like
and
picture that in
having
there.
just read it and cared about
Oh,
that
yeah,
character,
that's true.
so
That's
it's
true.
like
Like, it
then
was
a
so
week later I'm
fresh.
watching this movie, and where is she? I miss her. Lenny Kravitz as Cinna. Is that what you pictured?
No. No. That was a choice.
I pictured he's in the movie. What the hell is his name? Toby James, is that his name? Toby Jones.
Yeah.
I pictured him like a slightly effeminate,
Yes.
goofy, sweet guy,
Yes.
designing her
A little
costumes.
softer. Someone a little softer almost, but like
Not
with
sexy.
like fierce. No, not sexy. Not sexy, but like with fierce attitude. Like,
Yeah.
like affected costume maker fun attitude of like,
Sure.
that's fabulous and I have visions, like, but this was a very like, it was a different angle for sure.
Lenny
Lenny
Kravitz was too mellow and sexy. It was
very mellow and sexy.
for me
not,
a big misfire, to be honest.
yes, that's in the movie. That is he looks amazing, but it doesn't feel like the character at all.
Okay.
That was the one moment where I was like,
Yeah, I mean, I agreed with a lot of the casting.
yes.
Wait, while we're
So much of
there,
it was perfect.
yeah, I think I have alternative casting.
Ooh,
19 actors who were almost in the Hunger Games.
I love it.
I know, this is my favorite stuff. So, first of all, I love Josh Hutcherson. Did you ever see the movie Little Manhattan?
No.
Oh, I highly, highly recommend it.
Okay.
It's like an old rom-com back when we could like Woody Allen. I don't anymore, but when we could,
fair.
it's like Annie Hall, but about 11-year-olds in Manhattan. And Josh Hutcherson is the star of it, and he is perfection. So I've always loved him since he was a little kid in movies. And so I wouldn't replace him. I love the cast of this movie other than Lenny Kravitz. But
same.
Saoirse Ronan as Katniss.
Oh.
I don't quite see it. Haley Steinfeld I could see.
Yes.
Yeah. That works for me.
Yeah. Similar vibe.
Zoe Deutsch, Shailene Woodley, Emma Roberts, Emily Browning, who I don't know, but I think all of them could have been great.
Yeah.
Do you know Emily Browning?
I don't know Emily Browning.
Okay. And then for Peeta, Evan Peters, who he doesn't have the romantic appeal to me.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, maybe.
He doesn't work for me. I'm glad they didn't go that way. Hunter Parrish, who I love from Weeds. I don't know. I know he's done other things, but a guy named Lucas Till, I don't know.
Okay.
X-Men films.
X-Men. Oh. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Austin Butler.
Oh.
Oh,
that's interesting.
Yeah, he bugs me.
Maybe? I don't know about that.
Me neither. And then the Gales, I don't know these names. David Henry, Drew, Roy, Robbie, Amel. I don't know these names for Gale.
Am I supposed to know those names?
I
know
don't
those
know.
names. No, I don't know.
Okay, so that doesn't count. Who cares? But then this one is really good. Kristen Chenoweth as Effie.
Oh my God.
Wouldn't that have been amazing?
That was very good. That is very good. Yeah.
And this one, I question John C. Reilly as Haymitch.
You know what's so amazing? Ever since I watched the movies, I can't picture anyone.
Right.
Other than.
I know. John C. Reilly, I think, would have made it feel comedic even if he weren't being comedic.
Yes.
And I don't think that Woody Harrelson did that.
No.
So, well done. They went with the right people.
The right choice. Yep. Yes. Those main characters.
Although Haley Steinfeld would have been really good. I love her.
Yeah.
And back from our casting meeting,
mm-hmm.
The movie's almost halfway and the games haven't even begun. That's how much world building they're doing.
They did. I think they also knew they were going to make all three. So I think they really did go into that part of it, especially once you're on the route to the Capitol and they really wanted to build that part of it to set you up for what comes next. And I know you haven't seen
but I was just about to ask, are there more games in the second and third? Do they go back into the arena? Oh, you're giving me the I'm not telling you face. Okay.
I don't know if I should spoil it for you now.
Well, it does make sense what you're saying if they're spending more time in the Capitol.
Because there's so much that unfolds throughout the trilogy that it made sense that because all of them were out, that they play the long game of that part of it a little bit.
Okay.
And when you read, or at least just watch the movies, you'll see what I mean.
Okay. I will. So one thing about the movie that I really preferred was how many times when we were discussing the book did I say I wanted to know what was going on at the Capitol?
Good.
They have a control room like Apollo 11 where we're seeing the game masters controlling the environment in the arena and all of that. That was cool as shit.
Yeah, I was you got a version of that. So you asked and it showed up in that way. You get the whole mastermind feel of it behind the scenes of choices being made to torture the kids.
Yes.
And it elevates the whole, you're like, oh no, they actually are in real time trying to kill these kids in the most interesting, entertaining ways for this situation as they can. It's
twisted and I loved it. And again, wanted to know more about those people working in the control room. I don't know why. I'm obsessed.
You like the people. You're you're in here. What are you doing?
But they're in there.
What is your thought process of sending scary beasts after these kids?
Yes. Yeah, I wanted to know. There was one woman who
came up with that.
I did look up this one woman, and I don't know if I'll quickly find her or not. But she was great, and she was the one who had the most to do with, yes, sir, we're finding it now. And she was talking to Wes Bentley, who was Wes Bentley's character in the book, Seneca. I don't think he was.
Yes,
he
but
is?
not really. Not.
They amped him up.
They amped him up. It was he was not a main character in the book the same way as they what they pulled him out, because I think there's a nod to who the game maker is as they're meeting people, but there wasn't a lot more around it in the book.
Yeah,
but they definitely drew him out as the enemy
in
the movie.
I had a cat that looked like Wes Bentley, and so that was a little difficult for me. Just my personal journey. I don't know why. I don't know if you remember Lola, my black cat, but one day I looked at her and I was like, she oddly looks like Wes Bentley.
I did not make that connection. She's very cute, but I did not make that connection.
Neither did Jer. But I really thought she looked like Wes Bentley, and I don't know why.
What a special cat.
Right?
That's funny.
So here's my
What?
second Apollo 11 comparison, because even knowing the ending of this movie, because I had just read the book,
Mm-hmm.
it does nothing to alleviate the tension.
Oh,
And I
no.
credit Jennifer Lawrence with a lot of that. I
Mhm.
thought her performance was fantastic. And
Her performance is spectacular.
and you're inside her, like you said, all we see is what she's seeing. And she is the
Yes.
kind of
And
actress
she,
that lets us feel that.
yep.
Mm.
And there's enough silence where it's literally you're just having to feel and experience what she's experiencing. And that's space in this movie. Because in the book, it doesn't feel like space. You're reading all the words and
Yep.
but you feel every bit of it still, even all that is so good.
Yeah. And not to criticize, but they didn't spend much time hunting in the beginning. A little bit. We saw that she was a good hunter, although she missed a shot in the beginning. And in
Yeah.
the book, it made her sound like a master shot.
Yeah.
But we also got a sense of how much she knew about what you can eat and not eat and how to survive. And she, in the book, I think ties herself up in a tree or something. So
Yeah, she's talking about how she learned how to hunt and
yeah, none of that was in this movie.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
drop her into the arena and she's a master hunter who knows what to eat, who knows how to climb a tree and tie herself in there and secure herself. I just wished they would have shown us
a little extra backstory of why
45 more seconds of that in the beginning.
Yeah. It without context of having that background in the book, I'm sure that is kind of like, how does she know how to do all this? Like, I get that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
Very different
you know,
perspective.
millions of
Read the book.
people watch the movie
Did
without
not read the
reading.
book. Yes,
Yeah.
of course. Of
Yeah.
course. Yeah. So yeah, it could have probably helped to have a little extra context.
If you were in the Hunger Games.
I didn't think about it like that.
Oh, I
God.
did. I know. If you were, though, would you be an aggressor that was out to kill, or would you be hiding?
I think I would be hiding, but probably setting traps
Mm.
and plotting strategy.
Mm-hmm.
But I would be hiding. I would be doing it as hidden as possible.
Yeah.
I think
I would just be wetting myself.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I know. It's gruesome to think about, but I guess I thought I would never think, oh, I'll climb a tree and strap myself on to go to sleep. That would never occur to me. So I wish we had seen her doing that as a hunter.
Yeah. Of understanding the terrain like that, like being in that hunting space.
Yeah.
See a little bit more of it so that when they put her in this like dome forest, you kind of equate them where you're like, oh, it's terrain she's familiar with.
Yes.
So this is a bonus for her.
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. What a question of like imagining being in the games.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Because I don't eat anything on a bone, so I would have survived for a minute.
I'm also, part of me would be like, I hope I just die right away.
Yeah.
Just,
Okay, let's not go there.
someone quickly end it right away.
Yeah, I know.
I know, it's terrible.
I know. So I read they toned down the violence to get a PG-13. The movie was still pretty violent.
It was still pretty violent.
But not gory and not...
Right.
And there was a lot of implied, like, bang, and we knew somebody was dead.
Yeah, they didn't show a lot of it. There was panning away from the moments where you see the scary, violent, like, creature or like thing coming at people, but you don't see the exact moment of it. So yeah, I think I can see like the moments are like, oh, we have to like pan away here so that you can't show the whole thing. But in the book, you're reading the whole thing. You're visualizing the whole thing.
So why is that we're like, oh, our kids can read graphic violence, but they can't see it?
I know.
It's strange.
It is. And people still don't equate reading with the same ability to imagine and really truly visualize a full piece of that versus like your brain processes it so fast when it's on a screen.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow people don't connect it the same way with reading. I don't know why. I find the violence in the book, even more intense, like very intense.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
you have to be, like, it's young adult, that's the audience. So they've already, especially if they've already read it and it was this huge moment, they've already seen it. They already know what it is.
Right. I mean, as a wimp, I appreciated it.
I did too. I get scared from stuff like that a little bit too. I can't take that much of it.
Mm-hmm.
I have to close my eyes. The wigs get little nightmares.
Yeah. It's
Too much of it. It's a lot. It's a lot to really see.
And with how invested we are, it's different. I can watch a Scream movie or a slasher movie because I don't care about those characters. But you care so deeply about these characters that...
No.
Whew. But about these characters, they cast very similar looking guys as PETA, Kato, and Marvel, Jack Quaid, before anyone knew who he was.
Oh, yeah.
So in action sequences, when they were all running or getting in a fight, I didn't know who was who. They cast like pasty white guys with light hair. They all just looked so much alike. I thought that was a strange move.
I thought so too. Yeah, I think that happens enough to where I kind of like gloss over it, which is not great. But it's a good call, and it's probably something I think about that more now than I did when I first watched that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, everyone kind of blurs together, and there's less distinctions sometimes between especially the men.
Yeah, I mean the girls, they had red hair and black hair and blonde, and you know, they were little Charlie's Angels. You could tell them apart.
Yeah. Especially because that goes so fast that you do need some sort of designating like
features,
quick visual differentiation. Because like it's different when you're reading it, but like when you're quickly watching that visual input, you do need to kind of see like who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. Who am I following?
Right.
Yeah. You get a little blurry.
Maybe they all shouldn't have been white. Is also a complaint I have, but
I had that complaint before too.
Yes,
but no.
She couldn't scream out for Rue or PETA when she's trying to find them. Two different parts of the movie when she and Rue make the meeting place and then Rue's not there. But in real life, you would go, Rue, where are you, Rue? But obviously that would reveal where she is and she'd get killed. And again, when she's desperate to find PETA, she can't scream out. Oh, I was aching for her to be able to scream out.
You just feel that the like the thing in her voice from her physical move there too, where you're like, you know, she's like desperate to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I gotta find you, and then she has to. Oh my gosh, yeah. I think she does a good job of that too. Like that's I like distinctly remember feeling where she's like the tension, like the like. All the other, like her breathing, her all of it, with like, who knows, she really wants to scream out and find the fear instantly is like, you feel fear coming out of her pores.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it can't escape. It can't escape out of anything.
Oh, so tense. We're going lightning fast because we just talked about the book.
Let's do it.
But I missed so much of the tracking of kills and survivors. The book did it really well, and in the movie you barely know who's left. I barely had a sense, are there 4 people left or 14? And
the time in the dome kind of feels just like a blurry, like the dings that go off. Like I think there's one scene where they show who's gone, but it was like very early. It's like the first moment of like, this is who I was gone, the first who's left, and then after that it is super hard to be like, how many people are still there? What's going on? Yeah. And
I think it's an easy enough fix. Maybe they thought it would be a redundant moment in the movie. Because they did, yeah. But I was like, wait, who's left? And, you know,
how many days has it been?
Yeah. Yeah. There was no thread of that. And they took out the part where they somehow lifted the bodies out.
Yeah, the weird things that come in and like lift the bodies. You don't ever see that. Yeah.
Budget, I guess. But so in this version, ostensibly, like, these bodies are just hanging out.
Yeah.
But they're
just like lying there. But they don't. They take them. But like, you wouldn't know that if you hadn't read the description of them.
Right. Well, but in the book, you needed for them to remove the bodies because they put the soul or something into those creatures, those canine creatures at the end. Remember in the book, it's
Oh,
like that's Cato, not
yeah.
Cato, but that's
Yes.
Blaze,
Like
that's
they
Marble,
like put the, yeah.
and yeah, and those creatures.
So weird.
Oh
It
God,
was
it was
so yucky.
so.
Oh, it was so yucky. I can't.
Yes, but in the movie, those creatures let me down. They looked
Yeah. No. I
very
mean, the book was like
CGI'd.
very CGI, and it was just like a big monster bear thing.
They were weird
Yeah.
looking. They looked like Doberman pinchers on
Yes.
steroids, but
Yeah.
they weren't. We lost that element that, oh God, he has the
Like,
eyes of, and that's Rue. Rue is now one
right.
of them. I mean,
That whole creepy, yeah, the like super scary, like that part of it. Yeah, you lost it. I
yeah.
wonder if that's something they had to tone down or like couldn't address because it's so gross.
Well,
But I don't know.
and so science fiction-y.
It's science fiction. Yeah, it is. It is fascinating, actually, like what to talk about it on the science fiction level, because it is like you are truly feeling the like technology and dystopian future and how quickly what they're doing to manipulate things in a whole way that you would never imagine. And they do kind of cut that.
Yeah.
A little bit of those elements in the movie too.
And how would they've explained that it was Rue's soul in that beast, because there's no voiceover. In the book,
Right.
she can say, oh my God, I'm looking at those eyes and I know that this is, am I
Yes.
crazy? She sees Rue, right? She sees all the tributes that have died become those canines at the end.
Yeah. There's like, she's seeing them in there. And I don't know if it was like actually there or if she was imagining it a little bit. I think I
Oh.
always kind of pictured her that she was like hallucinating almost.
Oh, I didn't go there.
So I don't know if it was the actual thing, but like I always kind of thought she was like hallucinating or like seeing it come up on her. So I don't know. I think that's how I was always interpreted it that way, but honestly, it could be the other way too. I gotta read that a little bit again.
Okay, let me know what you find out, because I thought it was really them, but you could be totally right. That makes more sense, that she's delirious and
like traumatized and just all of it is.
and
I
thought
picture
they
like
were
that.
Oh, that's really smart.
But I gotta read it again because I don't know if I missed something.
You're like wicked smart.
Oh no.
And the last thing I thought, this movie wasn't as cliffhangery as the book. I thought this movie showed some resolve, which is strange because they knew they were making the next one.
Yeah.
But it didn't do that thing to me where I was like, whoa, I have to know.
What do you mean? Yeah.
Right?
I do wonder about that. I wonder if they just wanted to see how it did or like what happened or whatever, or if they took it out for some reason. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. It didn't have like the story continues feel.
Yep.
At the end.
Like no hand popping out of the grave at the end of Carrie. Spoiler. Were there things about the movie that you wanted to dive into that I didn't get to?
No, I mean, for me, I just thought it's one of my favorite adaptations.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nothing is ever like perfectly to the book. You can't describe the same way. So I know there's a lot of pieces that get missed, but something about like the energy that comes out of that book with the like devastating depravity that comes with what this is really resonated for me on the screen in this movie. And like, while I missed certain little details, I don't know, the performances and then like a visual stimulation of like the juxtaposition of district, capital, the dome, like all of it was like, it was so experiential to me and I loved it.
I agree.
And I was like, whoa.
By the way, just because I find things that I wish were different, that is not to say I didn't like the movie. I really loved the movie.
Yeah.
And I thought if it wasn't completely faithful, but I don't think I would have known that had 3 years passed since I read the book.
Yeah. I think when I originally, like, I think it had been a while since I read the book. It wasn't like right away. So I think it is interesting that you read the book and like consumed the intensity of the book and then immediately watched the movie right after.
Okay.
Because like, I always had a little space in there. So.
And then I took a lot of showers. Because the movie smelled too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Um,
You're in the woods.
oh my
What do you think?
gosh, Mona, we did it.
Oh,
All right. Let me tell the people that Make Me a Nerd is a production of True Story FM, engineering by the peerless Pete Wright. My theme song is Wonderstruck by Jane and the Boy. You can get me on Instagram at Mandy_Kaplan_Clavens or on TikTok at Mandy Miscast. If you are feeling supportive and you like what you're hearing, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts. And if you are feeling extra supportive, please go to makemeanerd.com/join. Help me continue this journey by becoming a member. You get your episodes ad-free and early, and my eternal gratitude. Okay, I need to go take a shower after this and probably eat.
hungry?
Yeah.
We're hungry.
I'm probably going to go kill a squirrel and put it on the spit.
Like you do.
Like I do.
Survive.
It's
You're
a
surviving.
Friday. Mona,
Mhm.
I love you. I love your beautiful family. Thank you so much for doing this.
I love you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And, we'll nerd out again sometime. May the odds ever be in your favor.
May the odds be ever in your favor.